Welcome back to the Get Loved Up podcast, your number one resource for inspiration and motivation to live your purpose, make healthy living a priority, and thrive doing what you love. I'm your host, Koya Webb, a small town girl who chased her dreams and caught them, a former track and field athlete who healed using spirituality and yoga, and an entrepreneur who didn't let sexual assault, racism, and insecurities dim her light. And now it's your turn to allow these episodes with some of the top voices in spirituality, wellness, and entrepreneurship to inspire you to thrive. Let's get loved up together. Queen Afua is a New York Times bestselling author, holistic health practitioner, and wellness coach, and pioneer in the green foods movement. She is the author of 5 bestselling books, the creator of Heal Thyself product line, founder of Sacred Woman Rites of Passage program, and the CEO of Queen Afua Wellness Center. She has devoted her life to fighting diseases by teaching people how to understand and utilize the power of food, self-care, and holistic healthy choices as an empowering lifestyle. Queen Afua has inspired over 1 million women, men, and children throughout the United States, Canada, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, with her workshops, books, products, and presentations. Queen Afua.
Yes, Koya Webb.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the Get Loved Up podcast.
Well, this is my blessing to be here with you. You know, you're my youth. You're my reflection. So then I just found out you're Leo on top of it.
We got the Leo vibe, the energy, the fire. And I really want to start there. Like, you know, start from your youth. What started you on this path of greatness, of healing the world? Really, you've touched so many lives.
Well, what started me was I had to heal myself. The thing about healing yourself, I've been healing myself for 50 years. I have to do it again tomorrow. And then next season, it's a daily practice. But I started at 16, 17 years of age. Asthma, allergies, PMS, headaches, arthritis. I was a hot mess. And I was invited to go on a healing retreat. And that retreat, I came with all my sickness. And that, wow, it brings me to impeccable listening, because when I think back, with all that sickness, and I didn't know the people that I was coming to the retreat with, young.
Right.
And when I got that bus, the asthma kicked in. The scratching, the eczema kicked in. I left my medication at home. And so I asked the question, I said, what am I going to do? I don't want people to even know I'm that sick. And I heard my inner voice told me my first formula: eat oranges and grapefruits and lemons. I looked over to my left. I dropped my bags after getting off the bus in the cafeteria. I looked to the left, and there was a bowl of fruit. There was a big grapefruit, and there was some lemons on another platter, and I had an orange, and I had some rose hips tea. And that was my first formulation for my healing.
Wow.
And 24 hours after fasting, I didn't know I was going to fast, but drink water. And that next morning, I was in front of a fireplace. The heat was coming into my lungs, my sinus, everything. And I woke up that next, because I had to sit up like this and sleep. To lay down, my lungs would have collapsed. And so that next day, for 1 hour, mucus just drained out of me. Went to the bathroom, just drained out of me. And that was the asthma, the allergies, the headaches. It was all sickness that was already in me through the all-American fast food lifestyle.
Right.
And I picked up a book. That's why I believe in books. And did Gregory, Cooking with Mother Nature. I took that home with me. I became an instant, at that time called vegetarian.
Absolutely.
I dropped meat, dairy, fresh flesh, fried, sugar, everything immediately over that retreat. It's probably how you do your retreats.
Absolutely.
You know, it was yoga, it was meditation, it was vegetarian lifestyle, it was herbology. I met my spiritual teacher of nature, Dr. Johnny Moore. He's an ancestor now. And he was the first loud, strong voice I heard of the miracles of natural healing. So I took that home with me, and I started to detox my life. my thoughts, my attitudes, my words, and I healed myself. And then 2 months later, all the sicknesses had drained out.
Wow.
With my bath and my tea and my yoga, I just healed.
Oh, I love that. And I feel like yoga, wellness, this lifestyle was healing for me too. And I love that you said it's an ongoing journey. It's always constantly happening. Because a lot of people say, well, when am I going to be done healing? And I love that you spoke to that, because we're constantly getting toxins from the environment. Yeah. And so we constantly have to cleanse and purify. What would you say would be your top things that people should do every single day just to purify themselves?
Breathe. Because there was a point where I couldn't breathe. I was very shallow. And so just to practice breathing, because to breathe is to let go. And to inhale is to receive. And just prepare yourself every day, I'm going to let go. Let go. And then take in what you need now. So just to practice and learn how to breathe. And to liquefy. Most people are dehydrated. And when I first came here with you, you mentioned the elements. My work and my specialty is the elements. Tuning into air, breath, fire, cleaning up the blood, coming off the dead foods and junk foods. As much as you can. It's not happening overnight, but it happens over time. Self-love, self-care will get you there. And water, my big piece is bathing in the water. If you can just, if you feel like you're losing your mind, stressed out, angry, enraged, take a bath. Let water surround you. And in this sacred space, you took us right to the water. You took me and Kazi right to the water. So you're in the mix all the time. I can appreciate that. So the water, and I bathed myself to life. Every bath. It took me to a deeper place. It helped me to get connected. It helped me to let go of relationships that had completed themselves. It showed me where the next move is, that water. That ebb and flow. It took away what was unnecessary. It gave back to me what I needed. So I said, take a soak in the tub a few times a week. Lemon water or lime water. Those are just a few things you can get started with. And then journal. Write down what you want for your life. You know, and get clear. And I say get up between the hours of 4 and 6, even if it's for just a few moments. Because that's when your super consciousness just pours out of you the truth. Write it down, and you start taking your walk. And every day, you just keep walking deeper and deeper into your healing.
I love that. And those elements I got from you. Your first book that I got was Heal Thyself. Wow. And it changed my life. Because I'm like, this woman, she looks like me. She's, and I'm looking at all these things. You had your beautiful white dress on, and like the cover was blue, and I was just like, wow, this woman is beautiful. And I read it from page to page, and I think at that point, I really didn't understand healing. I just knew that I wanted to feel better. And what really, because I didn't do everything. And I think sometimes when people start, they feel like they have to do everything.
Well, what's everything? It's whatever you need. You know, you look through books and you take what resonates to you, because you look at that same book a year later, 5 years later, you say, wow, where was that? Well, there was some growth that had to happen, some deeper understanding. And then so you look at life different. So you took exactly what you needed. Look at you. You're living it. I'm glad I could be a part of your journey.
Thank you. And that's what happened with Sacred Woman, the second book. I still have the old copy. I know you have an updated edition, but I went through it once, and now I'm going through it again with friends. And I'm like, how did I miss this the first time? I didn't do that the first time, you know?
I read it and say, how did I miss it?
You're like, it channeled through me.
Wow, okay. Well, thank you, Most High. Yes. But we do have that. I believe we're supernatural beings. And the more that we tap in, that's why it's such an ongoing journey. The more you tap in, the more blessings. And the blessings don't even stop with yourself. It started heal thyself. And then you just keep healing, and then it starts to reverberate like a rock in the pond and moves out. And then people around you start to heal, and everyone around you starts to heal, and all your friends, they start to heal, and some family members, everyone in my family, because sometimes the family's the last to really receive you.
So true.
But you have extended family. And if they can receive you, maybe the extended family will help your blood family. Because then it doesn't stop with you or me. It just keeps moving and going where it needs to go. And
Absolutely.
it reaches those who need it.
I want to kind of talk on that a little bit more, because one of the biggest questions I get all the time is like, what do I do when I'm living with family members who don't get my change, don't get the transition? I'm in toxicity and I can't get out of it.
Stay in a spirit of gratitude, because it'll keep your heart light. Otherwise, you say, did you get this immediately when you heard it? How many people had to show you, and how many workshops did you have to take before you got a deeper level? Yes. So to be grateful that you have a family. Some don't have families. And you're new to the family. You are the gift of the family. Yes. And they may take a cup of tea, this one. The other one may take a healing bath. The other one will smell the aroma that's in the house now, and they're starting to feel more peaceful. So you just be you.
Yes.
And smile with them. Laugh with them. I remember my daughter, all her girlfriends, she'd always have like 7 to 10 girlfriends. They'd always be going out, And they were in their 20s. No, they were teenagers. And they would say, they would laugh at everything I was doing. How I was eating, what I was eating. I put bells on, I did my women. They were laughing. And I said, that's okay. I smile with them. I'll see you when you're in your 30s.
That part.
That part. Because I know the way you're going, you're going to need me. I'm not going to be judgmental. When you get there, I just know it. I'm going to say, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. And that's exactly what's happening. Her friends are coming quietly, and so it's just being patient with your growth, being patient with other people's growth. Because I remember when I was starting this, I wanted everybody to get it. And I would badger them into it. And I'd give them statistics. And what are they doing with themselves? And I said, I'm going to have a heart attack trying to help people to heal. I'm going to put myself into a state of high blood pressure. I'm going to have an aneurysm because I'm going to get said, what's wrong? I said, what's wrong with you? You don't get what I'm... Okay, your blood is getting toxic now. Your nervous system is starting to contract to try to heal. So the best way I find in families or in relationships is to be an example.
Absolutely. When
you want someone else to receive you, then you receive yourself deeper. That's why this healing has deepened me. I don't get upset with people. I used to get upset. I said, thank you so much for that message. I'm taking myself a special bath. I'm going to do a special power walk.
Yes.
I just got me a new bike today, about a week ago. Wow. I'm excited. I'm a biker.
Me too.
So I was hearing about your athletic skills and, how you was able to take that and bring that into your wellness and incorporate that. And I said, she's okay. I know she's a yogini, but okay, she's about her fitness and the fullness, so all of that. So just be yourself, and if you love people enough, and they will heal, but just because you are drinking that green juice in front of them.
Right.
Having extra salad. Anybody else want salad?
Yes. That's so true.
Share it.
I love what you said. If you want someone to receive you, receive yourself deeper. That is a bar right there. And I think that is so important because when I went home, I started clearing out the cabinets. Oh my goodness, this is all toxic, it's poison, and threw everything away. My parents said, if you don't get that food out the trash, you didn't pay for that. And I was like, but it's garbage. Get our food out of the trash. And I had no idea. But once I received myself and just shared, like you said, my sister is now 100% vegan. My brother is plant-based. Wow. And everyone in my family is healthier because I stopped trying to press my insight and agenda and things on them. And I just showed up in love. And I just met them and I fed them. And I think that is so important for people to hear because it's like we want to save our families. We have good intentions, but everyone's going to receive it when they do.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so important. And I want to kind of get into the spirituality and the meditation and the work with the divine that you do, because a lot of people are looking for something to connect with because there's a lot of things going on right now. What would you say can help people? What can they do simply to have a spiritual practice?
Light a candle. And in some spiritual paths, they don't like candles. So light a candle in your heart. That's the non-judgmental. Everyone will have a different language, a different spin on it. Pray. Make prayer and affirmations a part of your communication to yourself. And just stay in prayer all day long. And the simple way to do it is say, give thanks. Most High, give thanks. I stay there. Most High, give thanks. One of my children asked me, how do you keep going? How do you keep happening? They see crisis, different ups and downs. I said, by the grace, I'm resilient. But the ocean is resilient. It comes and it flows in and out. The sun is resilient. It comes back again the next day.
Yes.
The air gives you oxygen. So if nature is resilient, and if I get in line with nature, I'll be resilient. I know that I can rise again. No matter what has happened the day before, when I rest and I start to quilt and knit inside my soul, when I wake up, I practiced for the last few years not opening my eyes when I first wake up. I stay in. And then I start saying, I'm so thankful. And then I start to say all the things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful I have a home. Thankful that I have children. Thankful that I have a purpose. Thankful that I love whole foods. Thankful that I don't have my asthma. I just go until I'm complete. And then I open up my eyes. And then I walk. The gratitude is a spiritual path. And I was telling my children when they were not grateful, I said, the more you can say thank you, just simple thank you to your divine self, to the Most High, to your relations, then more blessings will come to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the affirmations that you do. You since the beginning, like affirming the truth, because there's so many affirmations in the darkness, right? Or that are lower vibrational. And I have found that reciting them are powerful, and I feel really good. And the second most popular question I get is when you're going through depression and anxiety and things like that, and you don't know what to do, you just don't want to continue.
Yes.
What would be your word?
I have found, I'm thinking about Dr. Sabi. I would consider him a comrade on the journey. When he was in his body, he's still in his spirit, he's just in another space. And he would say about the mucus, which is the toxicity. And so I will add to that I found that all diseases, two things, malnourishment and toxicity. So if you're depressed, you're malnourished. That's all. And so when you nourish yourself, then depression will leave. It's just the body is breaking down because you're not building it up. Think about a baby. And the baby has his milk and have his little porridge from fruits and all that. And then at 9 in the morning, at 11 or 12, the baby's starting to cry. Baby wants more what? Nourishment.
Yes.
Because the nourishment has been used as fuel to grow the muscle, the bones, the nerves, the emotions to bounce out. When all of that has been used up and you don't fill it back up, you get sad. You get anxious. You get stressed. I have watched my community, which I'm the global community. I consider everyone is the community of wellness on some level. And so, but I've observed those who are in Sacred Women, Man Heal Thyself, Wound Care Love, that they have not been sick during this time. You know what they've been doing? They've been fortifying themselves as a way of life. They'll take their teas. They'll take the kidney liver flush. They're taking their live vegetables and fruits and juices and whole grains in moderation. They're drinking them. So it's a lifestyle.
Yes.
And that's heart protection. So whether you're depressed or anxious, you just need more care. Just take better care of yourself with no judgment.
Yes.
And then the brain cells will be nourished. The emotions will be nourished. A simple way to do it is get a green juice every day or every other day.
Yes.
That's a quick way to start. You may not like it, but you might put an apple in as a transition. And that's one way of doing it. And as you start to take in more salads every day,
right.
Take your B complex, you're stressed out. Take a love healing bath. Put some Dead Sea salt, put some rose oil in the tub, and put your meditation music on and just let go of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, and ask from in, what is it that I really need?
Mm.
And when you hear that, respond. Well, that's that is really my latest work now.
Yes.
Impeccable listening.
Yes. And that's what I wanted to talk more about, because that is the impeccable listening in your recent work. It just was like, that was like the beginning for me and for you, as you just communicated, is hearing that voice and then taking action.
Yes.
Like you just said. But some people have so many voices, or feel like there's so many voices.
Well, that's why we fast. So even if when the sun goes down, go to bed a little earlier for the next 3 days. Have your water, have your lemon tea. Put your feet invert, because that'll help bring your soul back to life.
Yes.
Which means put a few pillows at the foot of the bed. Keep them there always. 5 or 10 minutes, legs inverted. It sends energy back into the reproductive organs, back into the heart, physically, emotionally, into your spirit of communication, to your higher mind, your crown. So you return your soul to life now, right? We stand up, right? All the energy goes down. That's aging. When you invert, all the energy comes back, and you have longevity.
Yes.
So the depression, you get the blood flowing into the brain and the nervous system. You get the oxygen moving into those portals that need more life and vitality. So it is. So that's why it is a way of life. And it's all community.
Right.
You know, I mean, I when you said we're going to have girls' night out with your sister friends, and I guess it's community, I said, wow, that is so exciting.
Yes.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need to find ways. And I know a lot of people are depressed and sad because we're not physically together.
Yes.
But I started to really use my superpowers. I remember I did a Zoom. I feel like I picked up the phone to everybody. I said, thank you for letting me in your home. I'm so excited to be with you. And so in my psyche, I went into their home.
Yes.
And because I'm in their house, they're accommodating. I said, well, Queen, this is what I need. This is where I am. The heart was open. So you're not limited to a space. You are connected. As you connect to your inner self, you connect to your outer self. And no matter what, this may be the best time to retreat.
Right.
This is like people will say, I'm depressed because I had a divorce. I said, well, don't say that word. Say, I'm going through a transformation, not I'm going through a divorce.
Yes. So just reframing it.
Reframing it.
Yes.
And then being with that, because if you go to a retreat, it's exciting.
Yes.
You're going to learn new things. You're going to meet new people. You're going to have more time to yourself. That's what a retreat gives us. So what happens when you take this time and say, I'm going on a retreat now? This year, we had a year and a half of a retreat. Now, some don't like retreats, maybe. Right. They don't know what to do at the retreat. But there's books, there's your book.
Yes.
It's my book.
Yes.
There's so many ways to make the connection, to make your home a sanctuary, a living sanctuary.
I love that. And it has changed my life, learning how to listen impeccably. And I understood that if I could quiet out all the outside noise and really go within, that I could be divinely guided.
Yes.
So can you share how this next offering to the world came to be?
Well, I'm carrying this giant binder because it's my new baby. So, and it came because I asked a question last year because of the pandemic. It really brought me to ask this question. It was 3 days before I was going to sit with Lord London and Layla Delia, my daughter-in-law. And the question was, how do we end world suffering? I said, all righty. And what came immediately, because I was going to share with them what came through, impeccable listening.
Yes.
I said, okay. It was a journey. I wrote a little paragraph on it. If we will begin to do 3 things, that took time to understand the 3 things. First, to ask. So I had to go inside my own inner psyche and see, how do I function? What do I do when my life is really working? And what do I not do when my life is really not working?
Yes.
So I started to dissect and analyze and go, but this happened over a year. This happened over a year up to now when this book came. This is my first official to the world. This
Impeccable
is my baby.
listening.
This is the baby book. You won't have it like that. It's going to be a little book, 9 by 12, what have you. But I'm carrying it around because, we're having a relationship with each other because it's fresh out of my soul. I had to analyze. So in the process of asking, it was to ask, which we do. We ask for help. We ask for healing. We ask for a way out. We ask, how do I end this? How do I begin this? We ask. The second one is to listen. But you say, well, we hear different voices, but you have to do a lifestyle that's going to allow you to hear.
Yes.
So that means you have to do some cleansing.
Yes.
Right? Some will do plant-based, some will do it light fast.
But cleanse first.
But you got to do some cleansing
Number one.
to begin to hear.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to hear fear and doubt and rejection and harm and get back at someone. You're going to hear all this confusion because you have to clear the house and do some detoxing. So I talk about that. And then the final piece is to act. Because we can ask and we can eventually begin to hear. But then when we get ready to do, we might say things like, I don't know if I have enough to do that. I don't know if that person is the right person. I don't know if I really should. That's when we get in trouble. And then we don't trust. We don't trust our own selves.
Yeah.
And so we cut in half. We stop the flow of our gems. I see that we are treasures. And that there's a treasure inside of us. Yes. And if we practice, and you have to do small things. Don't start with the big stuff. Should I move to another country? Should I get married to this? Don't start there.
You want to go straight there. Straight to 10.
Because you then want to do what you want to do as opposed to the divine in you. Because then you have to tap in. If the Most High is given the ocean, and all the many names, light, the spirit, divine energy, if the Most High has given us the ocean and the sun and the water and the air and the plants and us, then all we have to do is just ask. Go, my mother, my father, go and ask, Most High. Breathe, let go. How should I handle this? It's going to come right to you. It may come out from your heart, it may come from your ear, it may come out of your first eye, the ucha. You're going to see it, you're going to feel it. Take another breath, and then you say, when you're going to get now, next year. I wanted to tell someone something. Could have changed their life. But the Most High in me said, not this year.
Oh.
They will not be able to hear you. Be still. So I waited.
Wow.
It's that level of discipline, but then your life begins to unfold. So impeccable listening is a great gem.
Yeah.
It is a gift. And I started to map myself. I went back into my map and I studied when my life worked, what circumstances, and when it didn't. I went down a rabbit hole for 5 years. I'm just coming out of it.
Wow.
And I had to go down that rabbit hole to bring this book together. Because I had to get real clear. If you don't listen, if you don't get in tune, you could sign your life away.
Doing something that's not aligned.
You have to ask, should I say yes or should I say no? And just be still and hear it.
Right.
And then you start to record. You say, oh, that worked.
Right.
And impeccable listening, I wasn't trying to write a book on it.
Right.
Writing for me is very challenging. It takes a lot. And then when I start writing, I don't see everything. I just focus in on the writing. And that could be a year, 2, 7 years. Second woman took 7 years to channel. So when I looked up, I said, oh, wait a minute. Do I have a center? Wait a minute. Things started moving away because I was so focused. This book took 2 months.
Wow.
The editor, editor I've never even met, came in and it just, my typist, she's a second woman, so that was great, and she knows my intentions, so we were able to get through it really beautifully. And a friend of mine, or a student of mine, said, when I mentioned, I said, oh, you having problems? Just do impeccable listening. He said, impeccable, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, just ask, go within and just ask the question and you'll get the answer. Just be obedient and follow the spiritual instruction. He said, could you please write that? I said, no, I told you, that's enough. Yes, all the books happen just like that. I said, go ahead and heal yourself. Could you write about it? I said, no, I don't have to write about it. I just told you what to do. You go ahead and heal yourself. I told you about Impeccable. Listen, take this paragraph. You'll get it with that paragraph. And so I just said, okay, Most High, because the Most High said, you are to write. I said, oh, I have to write this. Oh my God, Most High. I took a deep breath. I said, okay, I'm open. Let go. Be a channel. I'm going to tell you exactly how to write it. And I did. I listened. Yes. And I'm amazed. I have to sometimes read it over and say, Most High, thank you.
Absolutely.
And that just so that impeccable listening has us here today. Yes. I knew there would be a time when we would sit down like this together. And this is that time. Because even when you said, would you think about making this a certification? I said, I thought about it, but that's another work. I have to now create it. And I asked at that moment, should we work together like this? Most High said, yes. It was a breath. It wasn't even like, I wonder, I'm not sure, maybe. It was like, inhale. So the
full body, yes.
Full body, yes. And so, and then the next thing in terms of us working together, I said, okay, so you said, well, now you have to write the curriculum. I said, okay, Most High. I've got to write the curriculum. I got to get up in the morning. I've got so much stuff going on. And then you sent me the curriculum from the book. I said, Most High, thank you. I just want to thank you. That's that impeccable. It's not going to be hard. Yes. If we would practice, it's a spiritual practice to listen, to get in tune. First, you got to get in tune.
Yes.
Like a whole instrument, So that attunement is what impeccable listening will do.
Oh, and I learned it from you. And I went, and just so y'all know, I went through the entire book and I was so nervous about sending you that curriculum because this is Queen Afua. And I'm like,
but I'm a student of life too.
Yes. And I was so nervous. And the Spirit was like, just do it. If she wants to change it, she'll change it.
That's so hard. I was so relieved because I don't have to do it all by myself. We don't have to do it all by ourselves.
That part.
There is help.
Ooh.
Allow the help to come through.
Ooh.
And that makes it easy. So then all you have to do is take your bath, do your prayers. After a while, impeccable listening becomes a way.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. So what I was noticing within that year, if I make mention of impeccable listening, people would come and say, Queen, I'm doing impeccable listening now. I said, oh, okay. So the Spirit gave me this gift that I would give it to others so they wouldn't have to suffer. That's really what it is. Wow. There's so much suffering in the world. I want to take a moment. I wonder about the Miss America.
Yes.
She let her life go in the physical. She's now a spirit. She is now an ancestor.
Yes.
But what she was going through to lead her to that path, and she was so gifted, so well loved, so well received, but there was something in her soul that was not getting answers.
Yes.
And that left her feeling in a state, I'm tapping into her, of deep despair.
Yes.
And no matter how much material things was coming and how much education, there was something that she was asking for, and she couldn't get it. She would have needed, and those who would feel like, I'm at the state of the end. Maybe this is the state of the new beginning.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that moment. Thank you for that moment and also that reflection. And when that happened, I asked myself, how can I learn from this experience of someone being in a place that I was once in?
We've all been there on some level.
Right? Suicidal thoughts, feeling depressed and anxiety. But I love what you said earlier about the nourishment. And not just the nourishment through the food, but the nourishment through the journaling and the self-care and the self-love and really building yourself up and pouring into yourself. Because things on the outside are not things on the inside.
Yes.
And what you just said about like her needing the answer answers. And I feel like those answers come through that nourishment.
That's so
that
true.
Give yourself.
To give yourself what you need. You could ask at that moment, I am feeling in a state of despair.
Yes.
I am feeling empty, because you have to be your own truth teller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling lonely, whatever that is. And now ask, how do I overcome my loneliness?
Yes.
What do I need to do to not feel afraid? And then in that moment, make that phone call.
Yes.
Go take that B complex.
Mm-hmm.
Go run that bath.
Mm-hmm.
Lay down, rest. Journal.
Yes.
It will come to you. Just have faith. And then write it down.
Yes.
And you start getting more and more connected, because it becomes a spiritual path. You do it every day. I ask questions all throughout the day.
Yes. And that's what Impeccable Listening is about. And that is really how I found my yoga practice, how I came to California, how I found your work, how I listened, and you are now here in the physical. Full transparency, we did a Zoom, just so y'all know, we did a Zoom call, and the audio was missing, or it was messed up. And so it was meant for us to be live. There is nothing like this moment of us being actually together. The Zoom, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for virtual, that we can reach a lot of people that way. But it's nothing like being in ceremony and serving you tea and just being your presence. And I'm so grateful that I listened and I didn't get frustrated. I didn't worry. It's like, okay, this is not the time. Like you said, timing. And I think I want you to speak more about that, because like you said, the timing, if we don't listen, we can go down a rabbit hole. And I think a lot of times now people want answers, but your message that I read in all of your work is like, go within.
That's the power.
Instead of looking for the answers outside of you.
And it's a training, because we do want to go out. But I feel that even when someone comes to see me, I'm walking them to go within. I said, I'm going to take you right to where your power is.
Yes.
Your power is not in me. I have my own. I have my own seat. It's the throne of the Most High in us. But the power to get and tap into your healer is in you all the time.
Yes.
And you're going to need to tap in all the time.
Yes.
Because otherwise you'll find yourself calling this reader and that spiritualist and this one, everything, and you keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker until you can't not function in a whole state.
What I really feel like people look to you as the Queen Mother here living. And I think it's so sacred to have you here doing this work as active as you are for so many years. You are the epitome of wellness and what it means to be, because it's more than just writing. You are being and channeling, not stopping, but continuously birthing these great works. And I think people want to hear your story of a dark moment that you've been through and how you got out of it.
Yeah. Well, what I've learned about the dark periods, those are messengers. Life is speaking to you. And life has been speaking. A trauma doesn't just happen. It is a process to get there. So all of a sudden this thing happens in your life and shuts everything down. But that's because you have to listen. Be still, because I've learned to listen. But there's two things that happen. I'm going to try to be very brief. One thing is I had a week of falling. And I walked one step out of our family's home and I landed on the ground and a big knot on my ucha, my first eye. And I put clay, I wrapped my head, and I had to keep going. Right? Okay, middle of the week, I'm going to the bank. I went shopping, I grabbed stuff. I have a client waiting for me at my location. I got to move quick. Right where broad daylight, everybody's moving fast. I'm in Brooklyn. I fall again. Oranges go that way, apples go that way, and I'm on the ground. And at that moment, I said, wait a minute. Most High, I didn't want nobody to pick me up. I wanted to get the memo. I said, why am I here again? Because you don't know how to align yourself. You have to get into alignment. You have to breathe. You are rushing to go where? You're going to hurt yourself, which I did. But I got up, and then I started to walk up, right? Just like if we take a yoga class or meditating. I had to practice what I know, and I walked. But the third time in 1 week, I fell again. And I fell in front of maybe 20 people. They all crowded around me. I said, taxi. It was not Uber then. on Fulton and Nourishment in Brooklyn. And I'm down on the ground. My food is on the ground. The police officer, I said, oh, you come now? Okay. And then 20 people said, Miss, are you okay? Are you all right? And I said, yes. And they helped me. They put stuff in my lap. I got in the cab and the door was closed and I went home. And when I got to the door, I said, sir, how much is that for the ride? He said, Miss, it's okay. I wanted to just sit here and just cry a river of tears. But rather than do that, because the man would have, I don't know what to say he would have been, and I just said, thank you, Most High. Thank you for showing the humanity in humanity when I needed it the most. Mm-hmm. So that was one of those, that taught me a lot.
Right.
You know, about being and relaxing. And when the crisis hits me, because I had so many in my life, I know how to be at peace. People even ask me, Queen, do you realize what's happening around you? I said, I know exactly what's happening, but I'm relaxing because the Most High is talking to me right now and telling me how to get out of this and how to overcome and what lesson that I have to learn in the midst. So I'm fully receiving it.
I love that. Relaxing instead of being more stressed and more, but finding that peace within so that you can listen.
You can listen. In a crisis, you're getting a message.
Yes.
So get the message and then learn from it. Yeah. And that's when you ask, why am I here? How can I get out of it? How do I begin a new life? Whatever that is. Some women had to get beat out of their relationship. Right? Some had to be slammed. A lot of things had to happen for one to make a shift when they knew it was time. It was time way back, but we had to get a stronger message. A stronger message. And a stronger message.
Yes.
So I've learned that messages are, if you don't want to listen, you want to say, I want to do it my way. You don't have no way. Your way is a disaster. You have to tune in.
Yes.
Check in with that medicine inside of you. Check in to the God in you. Like Mary, that song, I love it. Because they said, the God in me, the Most High within.
Yes.
That was joy.
Yes. I love that too.
And it's so refreshing. It's so invigorating. And when I carry that, people respond to me according to that connection. That's what I have been noticing.
Yes.
Out of nowhere. I was going shopping with my daughter and I was in a market and a little 7-year-old came up to me and she started snapping like approval. She's a little European girl and she's just like, I like that. I said, what did she say?
Oh, wow.
But I wore all the colors that I wanted to wear. I was just being myself. And she connected to me. Yeah. And I said, look at you. Look how beautiful you are. It was our inner child connected.
Yes.
There's a magical world going on in the midst of madness. And that magic, that medicine, that treasure is inside of us. Be determined to get there.
Absolutely.
You want to go somewhere? Go inside. That's where all your, and you'll know who's your mate, where you should live, where is your finance, how to get there. You will get your full readout of what you need to do. And it is a blessing. But sometimes you have to suffer to get there. It's okay, now I'm going to pray. Okay, Most High, now I'm going to fast.
Yes.
So you put the task. So those are some of the challenges. And I've been through the fire of my own company. My children went through a lot of changes. Our family's home went through a lot of shifts. And I just had to keep asking, Most High, show me. I don't know, but I'm listening.
Yes.
And I get the revelation, I get the clarity, I get the message, and I'm obedient.
I love that. And you were saying before you had an experience with the birthing of your daughter.
Oh, the birthing of my daughter. My daughter was born, Sharice Rashid was born March the 8th, International Women's Day. Right. I would bring a daughter in. I have 2 sons, one at the beginning, one at the end. She's the middle child.
Wow.
Now, the first child, I had a cesarean section.
Yes.
Right. I was never proud of it. I was a vegetarian for 7 years, but I had been eating toxic all of my young life. So it takes time, right? So I had preeclampsia. When the body shut down, the kidneys start to go through changes. And in that time, I conceived and then I started swelling up. I started, a lot of toxic reactions from being pregnant. So the first one, I had a cesarean section and I didn't feel as connected because it took me days. You have the baby, you're asleep, You wake up, the baby's over there with all the other babies. That's my baby.
Yeah.
You know, so the doulas, I would say to every woman, get a doula.
Yes.
Because you're going to need it, particularly if you're going to go in the hospital. If you're going to have a home birth, have a doula anyway. Just have your husband, your mate be a doula also, you know.
Yes.
Do the nourishing, because you're at the door, death's door. It's for some cases, you feel like, and 45% of Black women are dying in childbirth. I mean, we need support.
We need support.
We need help. We need healing. We need to prepare ourselves. So all of that. So the second birth, I said, I'm going to be awake. I'm going to have a natural birth. I told my physician, I said, I want to have a natural birth. She said, well, you could die. I said, no, I'm not going to die. I already meditated. I didn't tell her that because I already did my
Heavily
prayer.
meditated.
Heavily into I'm in tune to my body now. I have prepared and all of that. And she said, well, you have to sign these papers off. So if you die, then I'm not taking responsibility. I said, okay, give me the paper. Give me the paper.
Hey.
Okay. Now, my family did not believe in it. Did not believe what I was saying. So they sat me down to tell me I was all wrong and please listen to the doctor. And I said, Time to have the baby. Now, I know my husband didn't believe what I was saying, that I could have a natural birth. I did my research. I did my study. I went in my spirit. And what I ended up doing is I called a taxi.
Wow.
And I went without him to the hospital. So anybody would think I'm a full nut. I have a husband. I'm going to leave him because he's a non-believer. I was going to have this baby myself because I knew I prepared myself to have this. But when I got in, and my doctor wasn't there, and I got caught up in this thing, this cycle. I was reading my body, my womb. It's not my body, my womb, but it was a book on women's health. I was looking at my story, and I got sideswiped, and I got caught up, and I didn't have help. I didn't have family who understood. I didn't have friends. I didn't have a doula at the time. There was no doula, you know. And I just went in, and next thing I know, I'm having a cesarean section. And my baby comes out, but I was awake. I was able to be awake, but I could feel them cutting me open. I said, I'm not going to die. I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to see this baby come out of me. So I saw her, but then they took her away. I said, Most High. And then they put me on this, it was a metal slab in the hallway. I was looking at this clock, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. I was there for about an hour, and my body was jumping from the medication. And the baby was separated. My baby was separated. And I said, I want no other woman to go through. And when the doctor examined me, and I jumped when I first came into the hospital, he said, you wasn't like that when you conceived. I was so insulted. And so that whole experience, I said, I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to overcome this, and I'm going to help every woman I get my hands on to not go through what I went through. So that's how Sacred Woman womb wellness came through, and the womb yoga dance came through, and the womb meditation came through, because it's all the levels of birthing.
Yes.
Birthing your new career, that's Mesh Connect. Birthing a relationship and how to come into that. Birthing, prepare for a baby, or to prepare for your career. What is your work? What is your purpose on the planet? The birthing process, what I'm very much into. And so that's why I'm carrying the baby around. I might as well put ribbons.
I love that.
Yeah, but I got through, and I was able to use that dark period as a time of light. And so I've been helping so many women because I love us.
Yes.
And I want us to be well.
And we feel you. And like you said, that experience was the messenger.
Yeah.
And I love that analogy of using every experience as a messenger of how you can show up, how you can align with the light, no matter what it is.
And then over time, you won't have to have all of those experiences. You know, over time. I'm on a spiritual clock. I'm always looking. I said, what time is it in my life? I said, I believe by the time August the 13th coming in, I will be able to fully sit, breathe, and be still. And I know it's because Impeccable listening came into my life to save me all the rest of the way.
Yes.
The rest of the journey.
Yes.
My mother's in the hospital. My mother fell. She's 98.
Wow.
And she was in isolation. So I went on my bike to the hospital, and I said, well, I need to give her this juice because it's nourishment, it's oxygen in it.
Yes.
And they said, okay. But it says impeccable listening, because how you gonna bring juice in and and they take you seriously. And I said, I'll sit here and I'll be on the phone. I said, Ma, you taking the juice now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating the grapes. Okay, they're organic. Eat the grapes and take the juice.
Yes.
And get that in. I'm coming back tomorrow and I'm going to walk you out of this situation.
Yes.
Right? That's impeccable listening is across the board, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a chance to really breathe through life and not be a victim,
Mm-hmm. and
not be angry, and not be broken. All my relations, I've had 3 marriages.
Wow.
My daughter said I only had 2. But anyway, even that I laugh because I've learned so much from those relationships, and I learned to be still. I love to be in a relationship. The Most High said, you're going to be still.
Wow.
I am working with you in a special way. And I want you, and I feel so at peace in it. I'm going to give you some things, but if you get in a connection like that, you're not going to hear me. You're going to hear the relationship. And what I need to do with you, you need to hear me.
Wow, that is powerful.
So I just said, Most High, I just want to thank you. I have no complaints. I just submit to the divine.
I think that is so powerful because I don't think people think about that, but it's something that I think about a lot as a single woman and open to life partnership, but knowing that unless I'm aligned with someone who is aligned with the divine and together we uplift each other to fulfill that alignment even more, it's impossible.
Well, you're not even single. There's too much around you to be single.
Yeah, I feel full.
You are very full.
I feel full by the
world
society's
looks.
label.
Right.
Right.
So, but we don't accept society's labeling us because you are full. You are unified within your own spirit, because if you're still single, you could be single.
Yes.
So if I'm saying, I have first an affirmation. I am that I am. I am single. No, you are with the divine.
All right.
I like everything that you do. So you are married to the elements. You are married to a holistic lifestyle. You are married to the love of humanity. You're married. You're unified. So it will make it easy when the time is in divine order. And when you'll see it before it happens. You'll see him. You'll know, see, the impeccable listening give you extra insight.
It does. It really
You'll
does.
know the date. If you have enough courage and you get out the way enough, you'll know the date, the time, the place. So when he shows up, you will say, you don't have to say anything because you'll know.
I already know. It's already happened. It's already, like, I went through your course, and when I tell you, I am a testimony, because not only aligning with you on everything that we're working with, but aligning with the right people at the right time. And not listening to my intuition versus my mind. And, when you study a lot, sometimes you can get deterred with your mind. But when you go into the meditation and the bathing and the rituals, you get in tune with your intuition.
Yes.
And that's so important to me. And you've been such a great mentor for me to remember to, like, go within, align, do the rich. And the more you do, the more it'll get clear. Because people say, well, how am I supposed to know the difference between my mind and that intuition? But just like you said, you just got to keep cleansing and purifying. And I experienced that the more that I do the rituals, the writing, the dancing, the chant, like all the things that you say, it gets clearer. I can feel it in my body. I get sacred messages through my body, through nature, birds, animals. It's like everything is
speaking to you. So how can you be alone?
Never alone.
Life is speaking to you. We went right to the water. He said, the water is here for me. The trees are there for me. I'm on my purpose. So you are so unified and you are so one with yourself. And I encourage you to continue to be that way. Nothing can stop you, because you had a massive healing.
Thank you.
That you will never turn back from your true destiny.
Never.
Which is great. And actually, you look like Ma'at right now, from the most ancient woman. I'm looking at you, and Ma'at is all about the heart and keeping the heart balanced in the scales of Ma'at. And that is your devotion, your dedication. You know, I can just see her with her wings in her center. Because on one side is there she is. On one side is the heart, and the other side is the feather. And so as I was sitting here, I was hearing Ma'at. Okay, she's an embodiment. You're an embodiment of Ma'at. And you are walking that path.
I received that.
So you're not alone. Ma'at represented a whole nation. A whole nation came into her alignment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And this is such a treat. I could talk to you for 2 hours. I want to talk to you for 2 hours, but the camera would go off. So I want you to give people, you know, just one message. If you would tell them, like, you know, if you want to continue to align with your purpose right now, what message would you give them? If they're wanting it, they hear you like, I want this. I want to listen.
You want to listen now. Well, I'm going to go back to the quickest way to connect is through water. We're 75% plus water. Drinking the water. Just have a day where you have a water ritual day.
Yes.
Drinking the water. Bathing in the water. Taking your shower, which I call that your waterfall. Let the water go on your forehead. Wake up your intuition and your heart. Self-love. Rebirthing yourself. Water fall on your womb, on your nervous. Just water, 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 water. And then in 24 hours, rise up at 4 a.m. and ask anything. And just be open like the water. And you will hear. Write it down. And then ask, what's the details of this? You'll see. It's channeling, because I channel. I do write. People see me as a writer, but actually I'm a channeler. I just hear it. I just hear it all the time. And it's a practice. And then you just do that one moment of a full day of drinking. Even in your food, have salads, just water. You know, as much fruit as you can and vegetables, and you'll be water. And you'll be connected to spirit. Spirit and water is one. You're one with the water, with the spirit. So that, just focusing on that alone will help to clear the pathway, de-stress, detox, tune you right in quickly, and get the gym. Because I understand what people feel like. I don't hear. I ask that I'm hearing so many voices because there's so much clutter in your house. This house has to be cleaned up, just like our outer house has to be cleaned up, and then you don't have all that clutter. And then you start to do it. You start to activate. So, wow. In your state of amazement. How did that happen? Becomes like that. Like an inner child come. How did I do that? Because you listened.
Yes.
And you say, oh, so that's what happens when I start to listen? You get affirmations. You get reward for listening. Right. I'm going to listen right now. I have a gift for you.
Okay.
Oh,
what is it?
And this is Impeccable listening too. On my way, I said, oh, I got to get the wound care love kit. This is for myself and my daughter. And this is wound care love for you.
Thank you.
And this is my body,
that's so
my
beautiful,
womb. That's how to do it. And then in here you have some gifts for. I have some gifts for you. Wow. Herbal wound detox. Yes. And womb fruit julep.
Ooh, this is
the blueberries, blackberries, raspberry, cranberries, and you have it in a powder form. Put a tablespoon or a teaspoon in your juice, and it'll get your blood really charged up. Yes. And then I have inside of here all these little extra blessings. This is your nutritional formula to repair the uterus. Wow. So as we get older, we have to take even more care. Yes. Okay? Because when are you going to bring an organic baby into the world? So to make sure we take care of you.
I will. Wow.
And this is the rejuvenation. This is the rose pink clay. If you have any wound pain or a discharge, and then it's the colon ease, and that's to help keep the colon lubricated so there's no pressure on the colon sitting on your bladder, sitting on your uterus. So this is to keep you toned up and encourage you.
Thank you. this is beautiful. I'm just getting loved up, y'all. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Queen. This is such.
And take this little rose. I know you have rose everywhere. Look at you, rose everywhere.
But this is special. This is for you. I should frame this. This is special. This can't go with everything else. This has to go with my bedroom altar because it has your blessing on it. So this is going to be special. Thank you so much. For opening your heart and your work to all of us. Through movement, through meditation. We're very inspired by you. Thank you.
I'm very uplifted through you. And I said, there I am over there.
And this, you are such an inspiration, how I want to continue to evolve as I gain wisdom and give wisdom and just become a channel for the divine to speak through me. So thank you for teaching me everything you've taught. Thank you for impeccable listening, which I cannot wait to assist and support.
Thank you.
You birthing into the world. And I want you to tell everybody where they can find you.
For the Womb Care Love, you can join me at www.wombcarelove.com. For impeccable listening and my other books and detox works, you can log on to Queen Afua, AFUA.com.
That is perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you, my love.
So beautiful. And thank you all for listening. Until next time, love yourself, love others, and love the world in that order. One day at a time, one breath at a time. Peace and love. You can send y'all a heart. Let's throw them a heart. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for being part of the Get Loved Up community. I like to share topics and people making a positive impact in the world, and your feedback means the world to me. If you haven't already left a review, please leave a 5-star review and let me know what you want to hear more of on the show. I'm here for you, and together we're making the world a better place, one day at a time, one show at a time. Thank you for listening.